Good morning, children. Today we'll start with the fifth poem of your Beehive English book. The name of the poem is A Legend of the Northland. This poem is written by Phoebe Cary. So, now a Legend of the Northland is actually a ballad. A ballad is a poem which narrates a story in the form of short stanzas. It is such kind of poem which tells a story in short stanzas, and in the poem, all the stanzas comprise four lines. And in total, in this poem, there are 16 stanzas, and these stanzas will tell us a story. Now, ballads are a part of folk culture, and they are passed on orally from one generation to the next generation. This folk culture comprises of traditional stories which are passed on from generation to generation. Now, this story is of the Northland area, the area which is near the North Pole. The exact location is not specified, but Northland means the area in the northernmost part of the earth, that is near the North Pole. And legend means a historical story, one which is very old and has been passed on from one generation to the other generation. So, this poem narrates the legend. Legend, I told you, legend means story of an old lady who angered Saint Peter because of her greed. So, this is the gist of the story. Let us go through the poem. So, the first stanza says, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them though. Now, in the region around the North Pole, that is the Northland, the duration of the day is very less. And why it is so? Because of its position. Its position is such that the sun's rays reach there for a very less period of time. And when this area is experiencing winter season, the duration of the day is very long and the daytime hours are very less. So, and in the fourth line, that they here refers to the people who live in this area. So the poet says that the duration of the night time is so long that the people cannot sleep them through. If they go to bed, they take a few hours of sleep and then they wake up, it is still the night time. So he wants to emphasize on the fact that the duration of the night is very long and the duration of the day is very short. Now, the second stanza says that where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges where it snows, and the children look like bears' cubs in their funny furry clothes. Now, the Northland region experiences severe cold condition. It is a snowy area, and the reindeer is an animal which is found in this polar region. So, people tie the reindeers to the sledges. Now, what is a sledge? Sledge is a vehicle on runners, or there are wheels on that vehicle for conveying loads or passengers over the ice or snow. You might have seen that some animal is there tied to one sledge and they carry that sledge in the snowy area. So, people tie that reindeers to sledges and then the reindeers pull the sledges. He also says that the children there in the Northland look like young ones of a bear because they wear so funny and furry clothes. So, the clothes are made of fur, which is like the furry skin of a bear. Now, in the third stanza, the poet says that they tell them a curious story. Now, they here refers to the parents or elders, and them refers to the children or the younger generation. So, the elders of the Northland region tells a strange and interesting story to the younger generation. And the poet says, I don't believe this is true. So the poet says that he doesn't think that the story is true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. So the poet thinks that he is in doubt that this story is true or not, but he also says that but if he tells the story to the reader, maybe the reader could learn a lesson from that story, because the story gives an important message to the reader. So now the poet is telling us a story in this poem. So the fourth stanza says that once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it, preaching just as he did, you know. So, the story is about Saint Peter. Now, Saint Peter is a disciple or a follower of Jesus Christ. So, the poet says when Saint Peter used to live in the world and went around giving preachings means religious lectures to the people. So he went around the world giving religious lectures to the people, just like all the other saints do. And then something happened due to which it became a story about Saint Peter. So the next stanza says, he came to the door of a cottage in travelling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. So, this stanza means that when Saint Peter was moving around the world giving religious lectures to the people, once he reached the door of a cottage where a small woman was making cakes, and she was baking the cakes on the hearth. Hearth means the fireplace where cooking is done. So the old small woman was making and baking the cakes.